Hello, Bernie, and welcome to Hera Interviews.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk to you today.
Yes, so tell us a little bit about what you do, where you're based, and who is Bernie and what is Bernie all about?
Do you have all day? let's first of all start by who I am. I'm Bernie Davies,
Yes.
and I am of Jamaican origin. Proud to say I'm a first generation Jamaican. Yes, that means I was born in Jamaica. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, my parents didn't have me here.
Yes.
One of the benefits of that is really what I will be sharing in my journey, because there are a lot of things that form the foundation of my life that have informed who I am today. So yes, so I've been in the United Kingdom since 2000. So I'm in my 21st year here. I came here
Wow.
when I was 37. My background is in law. I'm a lawyer. But
Wow.
I fell in love with business as a lawyer. I fell in love with networking. I fell in love with, a little bit of marketing and PR, because, it's all about that credible visibility, and
Yes.
it's all about relationships. So really today, I just want to talk about my journey through
Yes.
professionalism to
Yes.
entrepreneurship.
Yes. Which is an amazing journey because you've won numerous awards and
Yes.
you're based in Wales there, and you're not a stranger to Welsh people because of
No.
what you've achieved. Amazing things. Because from when we were talking, you've said so many things that you've impacted globally, not just in Wales.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, definitely. And the thing is, I didn't set out to be, famous or have any kind of notoriety. But what it is it comes back down to what I call your you print. Who are you? What do you leave behind when you leave somebody's presence? What's the imprint that you leave? And for me, I discovered that through my journey from Wales, sorry, from Jamaica to Bradford first. I was in Bradford. And when I
Yes.
moved to Bradford, it was, you can imagine, culture shock in 2000. And I came as a lawyer with grand plans and designs. What we all know about grand designs, don't we? They
Yes.
don't normally work out. So I found myself as a lawyer in Wales after having run my practice in Jamaica, quite esteemed there and so on, to be told, I'm sorry, you're overqualified. You're overqualified. And
Wow.
what did I do? I looked around me and I thought, well, first of all, I'm not going back to Jamaica with my leg between, my tail between my legs. We don't do that.
Yes.
And secondly, I'm not going to give up because I had little eyes watching me, my children. Yes.
Yes.
So you have to think about legacy and example. So what was I going to do? So I looked around, I saw that in the city of Bradford, there were a lot of people who needed help. There were refugees, asylum seekers, and indigent white British people who were having difficulties circumnavigating the social welfare system. And I thought, well, I'm in this church that does a lot of social outreach. They had this block of offices in the city center. And I said to them, can you give me one of those offices? I'm going to set up a charity. So
Just
instead of,
like that. Just like that.
yeah, so instead of sitting down thinking, feeling sorry for myself, oh, it's me, and some people might say, so who are you to dare to think you could support and help people here when you've just come over here yourself? You know what, guys, when you see a need, fill it. Don't ask
Yeah.
yourself, who are you? If there is something, and this is a tip for you guys, another thing to discover what you're supposed to be doing and who you are is what moves you, what drives you, what upsets you, what gets your attention. When everybody is scrolling on social media, what makes you stop at that particular post? Usually it's something that's in you that you yourself need to fix. You probably have the solution to it. Yes. And it tells you also about where your values lie. So for me, my values were helping people, have always been, never change. So I thought, I'm going to help them.
Yes.
Would you believe that charity? I ran the charity for 3 years. It landed me my most prestigious speaking engagement to date at the United Nations in Switzerland.
Wow.
Yes. And that was paid for. The trip was also paid for by Bradford Council. my hotel, everything, and they also paid for somebody to come with me. My daughter was 9 years old at the time. I couldn't leave her at home, to come with me and take care of my daughter while I delivered that talk. No, so what's the lesson in that? Number
Follow
one,
your passion. Follow your passion. Follow your
follow
heart.
your passion, right?
Yeah.
And listen, sometimes you have a plan and it doesn't seem like it's going to work out. And what are you going to do? Give up? No. What this word now? Pivot. Okay,
Yes.
all right. I know I'm supposed to be here. So if you know you're supposed to be doing somewhere, yeah, and you know where your heart is leading you, if you have a stumbling block, look outside of yourself. Look outside of yourself. Who can I help? And here's a challenge. I challenge you, right, to say to anyone, to try to encourage anyone and tell them everything is okay, you can do it, and at the same time tell yourself you can't do it. The minute you start giving to others and start encouraging others, you find the strength to do it yourself. Okay?
Wow.
So that's really how I started here in the United Kingdom. And then, as I told you before, Mercy, what happened is that after 3 years, it took me 3 years to figure out that all I needed to do was to tailor my CV, do an avatar of what the job I wanted. And I landed my first legal job here in the United Kingdom. The rest is history. I went on to be in high positions in different law firms, moved down to Wales, and then I found my true purpose, because I then moved on to my role as head of property at New Law Solicitors in Kai, which is this main capital city of Wales. And the department was a 6 months old department. So, and the law firm itself was a 4-year-old law firm. It was prominent, but it was only 4 years old.
Wow.
And I had to go to network and market and build the conveyancing department. And guys, that's when I discovered, because within 6 months of me doing it, I was asked to speak at the National Conveyancing Congress.
Wow.
Not about law. You know, when the email landed on my thing and I saw it was from the National Conveyancing Congress, I was like, oh, no, it wasn't about my legal acumen. It was about how to network and market your conveyancing department. And I was invited back a second year to speak as well.
Wow.
And you know, there's another lesson in that little story there that I'll help you guys with. Because what I left out of the first part of the story is I moved to Wales because I wanted a training job. I felt like I wanted to train within the law firms. And there was a training role at a law firm in Leeds. I went for it and they didn't give it to me. And I was like, I wasn't happy. And like, that role is mine. I knew it was my role. So nonetheless, so I took
that feeling in life. Yes.
So I went to Wales because I wasn't happy, and I had gone on to Wales a year before, saw it was beautiful, and I thought, let me go check out Wales. They don't want me up here. Do you know who was sitting front row when I delivered my speech at the National Conveyancing Congress?
No,
6 months after, the people who turned me down.
Wow.
In Leeds. And they came up and apologized to me. So this is another life lesson, guys. Don't hold any grudges. Sometimes when somebody says no, it's for a higher purpose. Because if they told me yes, I would be up there in Leeds. But I was dead center of my purpose doing what I was doing, because that launched me.
Yes.
I tell you, I became the darling of the media. I was invited when listen, guys, I'm not showing off now, I'm showing off about purpose. I'm showing off about what happens when you are dead set in the middle of what you're supposed to do. Yes. This is I'm not telling you this to say, oh, this is me, I'm some great thing. I'm telling you, I'm showing off about how purpose works. Okay. So I was supposed to be head of conveyancing, but I had to network. So going out and about, I started to get invitations to sit on various boards, invitation to sit on the council of the Social Chamber of Commerce, and other people are applying, invitations
Wow.
to go to interview Gordon Brown when he was coming down as if I'm some prominent whatever. I was not prominent, nothing.
Oh,
But all of these things are opening up to me. And people, even people ask like, why you? Because I've only landed in Wales as a Black woman
yes, yes,
in Wales.
yes,
And I started to ask myself, why? And then people started to tell me, and I started to see it's all about you print, not what you do, who you are. I was a Black woman, so I was different. I had a Jamaican accent. So when I rang on the phone, after I rang an office twice, when I
yeah,
ring the next time, hi Bernie, as I said hello. So they start to know me. When I ring and somebody call answers the phone and they say, "Oh, that's a Jamaican voice. Oh, my daughter got married in Jamaica. Oh, I went and there it is." So I discovered, and I was always see my ring, my nails, everything. I was always loud and proud. Uh, but they said you're always helping people.
yes,
You're always seeing what you can do, who you can connect people with. And I started to realize that was what was happening. My U print. Yes, I was not
yes,
afraid of laughing at myself when I made blunders. Because guys, give yourself a break. You're not going to be perfect. I couldn't
yes,
pronounce the Welsh words. I didn't know that when my staff member rang one morning and said, "Bernie, my train is stuck in Mountain Ash." I didn't know that didn't mean that we didn't have a natural disaster of monumental proportions here in Wales. I thought, and I literally said it out loud. I was like, "Mountain Ash." I'm thinking, lava, volcano, I'm thinking, and they were like, they have not stopped laughing. And I've had so many stories of me making a fool of myself. But you know what? I didn't resent them, and I didn't have a problem laughing at myself. How was I to know that Mountain Ash was the name of a town? I didn't know that. I didn't know Buffer Goose here, you know?
yes,
But that made me endearing to the marketplace. The law, of course, obviously the law for the economic advance department blew up. But
yes,
it happened, I was so aware of the fact that my calling was to help people to do what I was doing in for themselves, but also other businesses. So after 3 years, I launched my own business teaching lawyers, doctors, from the highest, the local authorities, everybody how to network and build their business
yes,
through relationships. We call it now social capital. And we know more and more aware of that your network is your net worth.
oh,
But that's
yes,
something that I just happened to learn because of who I was and
yes,
discovering that and using it with authenticity, not pretending to be anybody else,
yes,
but just owning the best bits of myself. Because when people started to tell me why those doors were opening, I've got to tell you, I then started to say, oh, so I'm doing this by default. Let me do it on purpose now. Let me
yes,
really, really,
yes.
let me make
So
it
we
my
have to be
purpose.
purpose driven, you're saying.
Purpose. You've got to be
Yes,
purpose driven and it has to be purposeful. But it's never, ever to be all about you. So, in the same way I tell people to be unrepentantly themselves, respect the differences, respect the people in the marketplace. You cannot be like a bull in the china shop going around, this is me, this is me. No, even though I am comfortable with who I am, I temper my ways and my discussions based on my understanding, just picking up the nuances because people tell you who they are.
yes,
Different types of personalities. Not everybody wants a hug. Not everybody wants you all over them telling them, in their face. Not everybody wants you to be wanting to get everything about what you are and what you do straight away. Some people want some time. They want to do, they're slow burners. So how do you pick up on that? Simple. You're talking to somebody and you're gushing with information and they'll say, send me an email.
yes,
There's a clue. Don't go picking up the phone now, chasing them down. Send them the email.
yes. So we have to listen to the person. Don't treat everybody the same way. You have to treat every person as an individual.
There you go. And that's the sweet spot. The sweet spot is when you learn how to be yourself and
Yes.
be authentic, but then you learn to temper yourself so you can have the best form of engagement with different personalities. And there's an art, but it's worth practicing the art. And you know, one of the first ways to practice the art, less of
Smiling.
this, more of this.
Yes.
Listen to what people are saying, and even more so, listen to what they're not saying.
Yes. I think a lot of us miss that. A lot of us miss what is not being said in the room. And
Do
that's where the answer lays.
you do that at your peril. You've got to be listening. The thing that somebody should say normally and they haven't said it. Why? There's a clue.
Yes.
Yes, there is a clue. And also take time to find out about people. Ask them questions, open questions. Not,
Yes.
not about what they do necessarily, because you know what, we're more than what we do. We're more than where we, we're where we've been. I always say we are the sum of our past. We are what's happening now, and we are the dreams that are incubating inside of us. So be
Wow.
careful how you go, because
Yeah.
you might dismiss a serious player out of hand. And then when they rise, you regret every moment you did not have for them. So be careful. And how are you going to know where value lies? Spend some time with them, just getting to know them. You'll be surprised what treasures are within people.
Yes. Wow. 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 So during your journey, you've had a lot of various experiences. I know it's not been, and it can never be, when you reach the top, easy sailing up like people think. What have been some of your major hurdles you've had to face?
Well, let's keeping it real. And I know you told me before the interview I don't need to share, and you know what I don't want to share, but we've got to share, because I think it's a disservice to pretend that you have not had challenges and have people listening to all of these. Oh, yes, well, I ran my chain of restaurants for 8 years, and the number one Jamaican restaurant, number top 100 restaurant. I was top 100 businesswoman. I, Swansea Black Icon. My book number one. This, and you're hearing all this, and you're thinking, oh well, she has this charmed life. No, I've been through divorce. I've been through violence in marriage. I've been through, all sorts of things,
Yes.
discrimination. But you know what? I didn't even realize I was being discriminated against.
Yes.
So sometimes we've got to watch how we make things affect us. So I'll tell you. So when I left from Jamaica, in Jamaica, you don't have color. You don't know you're black.
Yes.
There's no discrimination there. I never had that chip on my shoulder that a lot of the people, the African Americans, have, and I really feel for them. And there was a time I didn't understand and I didn't feel for them. I thought, get over yourself. Every day you're talking about race. Like seriously, is there anything else?
Yeah. Yes.
Next topic, please. That was my attitude. And coming here, and I was just sailing through all these doors because I didn't see any closed doors. In fact, in the Wales Business Insider, this current February-March edition, I'm featured in there. And I've got to
Wow.
say, let's
Congratulations.
say for the black woman, I also made the cover alongside a white man. Don't matter that I wasn't the only person there. I got a little, I was on it, and for that I'm grateful for the cover and the feature inside, right?
Yes.
And that the I had a long talk with the interviewee, with the editor interviewed me, and he chose the title for it, No Closed Doors,
Yes.
because I literally did not see a closed door, because I didn't know the door was supposed to be closed. So I
Yes.
just kept going through these doors, almost like a Pollyanna. I'm so glad today, oblivious of the fact that there were racial things. Even the fact that I couldn't get a job for 3 years, I didn't even realize. I didn't think all of it. There are a lot
Yes.
of look. In hindsight, I'm thinking there was some racist stuff going on. I didn't know. So because didn't know, it didn't stick.
Yes. Yes.
So here is a little bit of a hack for you guys. Okay, so we know it happens. We know that unconscious bias exists. We know the glass ceiling exists, not just for black,
Yeah.
but also for
Yes.
women.
Even with gender as well.
Yes, we know it exists, but tell you what, you have got to resolve that it does not exist for you.
Yes.
Yeah, it exists, but it does
Yes.
not exist for you. And why doesn't it exist for you? Because no obstacle, just like every other obstacle that you've thought to yourself, this doesn't exist for me. Why don't we look at racism that way? Yeah. And the
Yes.
glass ceiling and the unconscious bias. So when we go for that job interview, wipe our mind of this feeling that the blonde, blue-eyed girl who sat there in the waiting room with you is going to get the job over you. You have given that job to her. The minute
Yes.
you think that you've given her that job, because you walk in with that attitude, and
Yes.
I'm telling you, there we are more than just flesh and blood. We carry spirit with us. And if you walk in there with the spirit of a loser,
Yes. You will
that's who you will
lose.
be.
You will lose. Yes.
I didn't know that I was supposed to feel worried about the other people that were sat in the room when I was going to my interviews. I didn't know that. So I walked in there like a winner, and
Yeah.
win I did.
Wow, that is powerful. That is
Yes.
powerful. Yes, I think for me, I do exactly the same thing, and I think a lot of people who have gone through a lot of hurdles, they don't see the hurdles, they don't see the negatives. It's like that saying: some people see the cup or the glass half full, others see it, you know, empty half.
Yeah.
So it's a choice. It's a choice.
Yeah. And it's not about being naive. No, I was naive until I realized. But you
Yes.
can actually purposely, no, I've realized, I now have to purposely tell myself, don't think, you didn't think about it before, don't think about it now.
Yes.
Right? Because you didn't realize you were supposed to be worried. So don't even now, worry. Because before I was the only black woman in a lot of these meetings, in these positions with white, gray suited men, and I felt like I belonged because nobody told me I didn't.
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
now, if they're trying to tell me I don't, I'm going to harness that thing in me that says, no, I belong.
Yes, yes. So I think so. What you're saying in an essence is that we have to, both as women and as whatever the color of your race is, not to see that, to go beyond that and see yourself as a human being that is existing.
Worthy. That is
Yes,
worthy. You are worthy. Yes. Look yourself in the mirror. You are worthy. It doesn't matter what shape, color, size. We are all here, and it's one beautiful canvas with we all of us together. What and you know it's not collage. I'm trying to find a word. You know, the abstract art where it's
yes,
all, and you can just different people go up and read it and see different things. That's what we're all creating together,
yes,
guys. Don't lose sight of that. We're all creating that, and that takes me to the whole thing about legacy.
yes,
Understanding now, when you get to my age, you start to think. When you start thinking like a legacy, you start. Yeah, the clock's ticking. So, so think legacy. What do you want to leave behind? Who's watching now? Kids are one of the first things that are watching. Yeah, but there are other young women, young men that are watching, and we owe it to them
yes,
to leave a legacy that they can be proud of, and that can inspire and encourage. Right now, I'm so privileged to be working on a program with the Welsh government, and it's about the underrepresented. And what I
yes,
love about this program is not one of those programs that's asking the women, because the groups are women, Black, Asian, the BAME community, disabled, and 18 to 25-year-olds. But they're not asking them to just set up a business and just, no, they're asking them to set up a business, which is a scalable business, which by in 3 years' time, they should be having 10 employees and should be turning over 2 million. Hey, what's that
Wow.
about? It's setting the bar, the mindset.
Oh,
What
yes.
a program. What a program. It's not something that's asking them to just, like playing. No, no, no. You can do it. Yeah. And I'm so grateful to be one of the coaches. And I have 7 of those coaches. And I'm telling you, it's just incredible what's happening. The 24 of them applied, well, 24 of them won. Yeah. And
Yes.
it is a pleasure and a privilege to be a part of that. And
Yes.
more of that, because last year the British Business Bank, they had a report that they launched. The
Yes.
report was on 21st of October. Uh, Entrepreneurship and Diversity in the United Kingdom, Alone Together it was called, and they invited me to speak on a panel about it, so I had to read the report. And to be honest, I have to be honest, would I have taken the time to read the report? I might not have, even though it's dealing with me, but I had to read it because I had to speak on it. And
Yes.
I'm telling you, it is damning, the report, the findings across the United Kingdom, in Wales, the whole matter of the disparity between the our Black and Asian and ethnic minority groups in terms of
Yes.
profitability, the disparity between them and the white counterparts. And the report has also established that these groups who are not performing as well as entrepreneurs are more often than not they're more highly qualified, and they work harder.
Wow.
Yes, these are the kind of things that are happening. And that is why you need people more. What you're doing is amazing, having people like me on here. We need more of the same, because we need to light that fire in
Yes.
these groupings to say, guys, we know it's hard, but it's not impossible.
Yes.
Do not look at the detractors or the things that are there to, or the obstacles.
Yes.
Together, let us set our face like a flint with love in our hearts, because you won't get anywhere. No, you won't get anywhere hating anybody.
Yes.
Yes, you're gonna be a caustic um, force. Nobody wants that. You've got to keep your purity of heart and
Yes.
leave your passion for your business, not to
Yes.
be against people. Leave your passion for your business and for the greater good.
Yes.
Okay.
When we spoke pre-interview, you
Yes.
mentioned some of the how your business works, that you can within just 2 sessions transform people
Oh my
and
gosh.
transform their lives. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, awakening, I call it the awakening the inner genius, awakening a realization of who you are, because it's really understanding who you are, why you're here, and what you are here to do. Yes, and I
Yes.
tell you, it is incredible. One of the ways to discover who you are and discover the greatness that is in you is ask yourself, who do you admire? When you're a little girl or a little boy, who you looked up to and thought, wow, wow, this person is amazing. Then as you got older, your influencers, 3 of them, maybe somebody who taught you, and now who is around, that you're thinking, wow, this person is great. Yeah, ask yourself,
Yes.
list them, 1, 2, 3. Then write the qualities about them down. Why is it that you think they're amazing? Yes.
Yes.
And then ask yourself, are any of those qualities in me? And has anybody said to me that I am like any of those qualities? I challenge you that you will not be able to say no. Because what you'll discover is that the reason these people influenced you, these people resonated with you, and these people you were so in awe of them, is because you were connecting with what's within you.
Yes.
You are admiring a mirror image of yourself.
Yes.
You will find that those things that you value in them, you have it in you. Then you'll also find you have additional ones which make you unique. So that combination of those amazing qualities that you see in these people and your own unique ones, if you actually nurture and create that and make that your best self, that's
Yes.
where you get the authenticity with it. It's you. These people are doing excellently, showcasing that about themselves
Yeah.
and their other using their other talents. Yes,
Yeah.
you now need to just go out accepting your greatness and showcase your greater self with a true understanding of who you are. Now, I'll give you an example of what I mean. Like, for example, just recently, there's so many people that I've worked with. I never work with anybody beyond 3 months because it doesn't take, if it's in you, it doesn't take much to light the fire and you're sailing.
Yes.
Okay. There's Dr. Yumna Mohammed. She's an engineer fellow at the University of Cardiff. And when she's watch this, guys, look out for Mayana Natural. It's coming. It is launching this innovation that she had. She had a year ago. She called me to coach her, and I
Yes.
coached her. She couldn't say Guta Buta Goose. Well, now if you check her out on Mayana Naturals on Facebook, you'll see her doing videos. She's all there. She also won Women's Spire STEM Award for Cryotech last year. And she
Wow.
also won a 60,000 pound fellowship with Cardiff University to see her product through. Now that's what I didn't do any of that. All I said to her is, Yumna, you can do it. And I sat down with her and I had the same exercise. Come on, Yumna, find that thing in yourself. Let's do it. And she's done it. Patience Bentu is another one. If you go through the archives now, she's still Face of Waste Council coming. When I met Patience a year ago, she was like broken.
Yes.
Broken. She was a TV presenter in Nigeria. She came to the UK and life happened. Yes.
Yeah.
Broken. And I remember I sat with her and I didn't even remember until she reminded me. But then, yeah, I sat with her and I said to her, because she reminded me of the story of the eagle in the chicken farm, right? Not fitting in. And somebody told the farmer to take the eagle up because he said, take that chicken up there on the mountain. Story, it is. And after it was discovered it was an eagle. And I said to her, Patience, you are an eagle in the chicken coop. You don't belong doing what you're doing. Yes. And a few months after that, she called me and she said, Bernie, I don't want to be an eagle in chicken coop anymore. Would you coach me? I only had 2 sessions with Patience. She since then, is the face of Race Council Cymru. She is acquitting herself eloquently on every week, 2 or 3 times. She's on mainstream TV, whether it's BBC TV or ITV, commenting on all things race and diversity. Anything else happened. And she's now about to launch her own TV talk show. Okay.
Wow.
So I'm not what I'm telling you about. It works, and that's just there's so many people I can tell you about.
Yes.
But guys, the thing is, I didn't do any of that except help them to just tap into their inner beauty, their inner genius. They did the rest.
Wow. And you say to me that you would not get out like Naomi Campbell out of bed or out of your house for a minimum amount.
yeah.
You resemble Naomi Campbell there. You've got the Jamaican roots.
Yeah, you got to value yourself, guys. You got to value yourself. You can't when you know who you are.
Yes.
And you know what you give. And you must give it every time, because otherwise it's robbery.
Yes.
Yes. But when you know who you are and what you're worth, then you need to charge your price.
Yes.
You need to.
Wow. This has been a great interview, and we could go on, and I think there needs to be part 2. So, with your closing remarks, what is your message to people out there, especially during this pandemic, because a lot of people have lost jobs and they're just out there feeling down and outcast?
Don't give up. Don't give up. To the ones who are out of a job, don't give up. You now have to manage your mind. Yes, and manage your company.
Yes.
Very vulnerable time for you if you're down. Okay? But you've got to fight for yourself. You're worth it.
Yes.
So the fact that you're listening today, you are doing the right thing. You are listening to something you think might uplift you. Do more of the same. Get podcasts in your ears. Yes?
Yes.
Do something that is going to make you feel good about yourself. If it's even something like one less chocolate cake and one less glass of wine. Yes, but set small goals for yourself right now.
Yes.
Self-care goals. Okay?
Yes.
And think about who around you needs help as well.
Yes.
Who can you comfort? Who can you encourage? Because when you start to comfort and encourage people, yes, doors open up for you. And when you get up in the morning, I always say the first 5 minutes you wake up in the morning are the most important ones. Capture the negative thoughts. Do not let them, you do not let the thought about what happened yesterday and the worry about what's going to happen tomorrow be the first thing that you let settle into your spirit. You get up and you speak, declare, this is the day, right? For me, as a Christian, I say, this is the day that the Lord has made. I'll rejoice and be glad in it. Whatever your affirmation is, you speak out your affirmation. You speak positivity over your life. And for the ones who are in business, what I want to tell you is this.
Yes.
Your business will not surpass your own limitations. You are your best product. So therefore, you've got to invest every day in ensuring that you show up at your best. If you run a big organization, you've got to look at your company culture. Oh gosh, I could go on, guys. But essentially, those just
that's why I said
nuggets.
We have to have part 2 of this interview, because
in my book there, if people want to capture what any of these concepts, they're in this book, this Pocket Rocket, Your Business Your Way. My number, I can't show you can see my number 1 bestseller.
Yes. Yeah, how can people get in touch with you? Because I'm sure plenty
BernieDavies.com. BernieDavies.com.
Okay,
my website. All my contact details are there. And
and they can have a cup of tea or coffee
you can have a coffee with me. Yeah, have a coffee with Bernie. Yes.
I love that concept. Coffee with Bernie, booking an appointment.
Yes.
And she will put a smile on your face.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Oh, pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.